Without a doubt, totally accurate battle simulator is a pretty fun and easy game, but that is until you unlock the legacy campaign, and all of a sudden, it's not so funny anymore. You're constantly getting sucked off, you're always outnumbered, and worst of all, this level where you have to protect Mike Tyson from being shot by the police. But let's see if my plethora of experience with the grades and war tactics will be able to one-shot this campaign like JFK. As you can see, we start from the start, and honestly, against us, nothing that poses any danger, just a bunch of women, Arthur Morgans, some tribe, and a couple of guys who go boom. But even though our enemies look like this, it would be completely irresponsible to underestimate them, so let's lock in. Now, to be honest with you, I'm not really sure what will work in this situation, because I love women and I have no idea how to counter them, so we will have to think about this one. Since the guys with poison darts are probably the only real danger, we will counter them with an unstoppable force of hillbillies. I'm thinking we will also unleash the French and maybe throw a couple of skeletons to bait out the bombers. To be fair, I didn't expect these women to run at me with such enthusiasm, but the plan is actually working great because they kill themselves. Unfortunately, the French are doing the French thing and missing all of the bullets, but it's fine. Let's see what's happening here. No comments. Let's see what's happening in here. Another hillbilly actually carrying this battle as well, distracting the entire tribe. The French are... well, they're trying to do something, I'm not really sure what they're trying to do. This guy is undoubtedly the MVP of this fight. He was distracting these Arthur Morgans for the entire battle. Wow, the French did something useful. That's actually surprising. Without a doubt, this level was a massive success, and hopefully we can keep this streak going. Next level is poaching boxers, and on this one we're going against a bunch of Mike Tysons, which is actually very dangerous. Since I was a kid I was afraid of Mike Tyson biting my ear off, but maybe he's not as interested in kids after all. Hold on, I think I see something. What's going on here? A bunch of bombers are hiding behind a church. Would you look at that? A full-on violation of Article 53, Paragraph B of Additional Protocol 1 of Geneva Convention. Needless to say, we cannot support such behavior. There are also even more Arthur Morgans, but compared to Mike Tyson, they're standing on a level of a coughing baby with tuberculosis, so they're not worth it to worry about. I would like to point out that one of them is also 5'11", which must be a humiliating way to live your life. As someone who does not have a lot of experience dealing with Mike Tyson, I think I'm just gonna improvise. I think a catapult, some balloon archers, a bunch of vampires, and a lot of simpletons will work just fine. Vampires are instantly flying to suck off Mike Tyson, and we can only hope that something positive will come out of it. And it looks like the only positive thing that might come out of it is HIV. The guy is just flying straight up to Jesus. That's fine, that's actually good for him. And bombers are about to hit the... and they hit the catapult. Today is not a good day. Today is a day full of tragedy. These balloon guys are kinda cracked though. Look at them go. What the hell is happening? By this point we lost pretty much the entire army, but I think these balloon guys have pretty good chances to carry this. Okay, Mike Tyson, maybe you win this fight, but not the war. Okay, perhaps the sucking off Mike Tyson strategy does not work. Well, in that case, well, I don't know. I hope Zeus can deal with him. I actually liked how balloon archers are performing, so maybe we can just spam more of them. I think this is a great idea. And I don't know, let's just put as a distraction a bunch of knights or something. They're gonna die anyway, so who cares? Instantly balloon archers are sending everyone to heaven, and Zeus is just going crazy with his lighting. It's chaining from one Mike Tyson to another. He is unstoppable, and most of them are already dead anyway. Arthur Morgan tries to come close, but he's gonna die of TB before he can even get to us. At this rate, looks like Mike Tyson is about to get to Mount Olympus. Bye bye Mike Tyson. They're straight up ascending into Valhalla. Who the fuck are they shooting at? Oh, there's the last guy. Maybe he can make it to Jesus. Let's see. Oh no, he can't. So sad. The angel lost his wings. Okay, let's see. Let's analyze what's going on here. A bunch of shields, a bunch of spears, and a couple of Britney Spears. Yeah. Okay, let's be serious for once. All in all, this does not look dangerous, so I think I can whip out a Minotaur. Maybe a bunch of potion throwers and I don't know, something like this. I don't think it's that serious. Vikings and Minotaur instantly jump into the booty hole. And to be fair, I think they're about to die, so that is not looking good. I know does not look promising, but we do have potion throwers, and I think they can carry this one easily. Looks like we don't have potion throwers anymore, and looks like we don't have anyone at this point. Maybe it's that serious. Okay, hold on, I need to see something before I apply my secret tactic. Exactly what I wanted to happen. Perfect. So in our strategic circles we call this one booty cheek spreading special. By separating enemies into different sides of the map, we can deal with them much easier than if they were not separated. As you can see, the plan is actually working great. Honestly, I don't know if it's working great. I mean, the right flank is having some noticeable issues. To be fair, they all fucking died, but I think sometimes you just gotta trust the process, and in our case you gotta trust Mexican Cobras to carry this fight. Exactly what I thought. As you can see, you cannot doubt booty cheek spreading special. This is just one of these tactics that looks deceivingly simple on the outside, but once you look inside, it's incredibly deep. So here we have a bunch of bombers and an entire fleet of Mike Tysons, which, as you already know, nothing to joke around. In this case, I think the best move for us is to burn all of them with the Chinese firepower. I think 2 dragons should be just enough, not like we have money anyway. I'm feeling good about my plan. I think these Chinese flames are about to spread like the Australian wildfires. Not even Mike Tyson could do anything. This is actually looking good. Oh no, a couple of them got through. That is not great. They're about to discombobulate my Chinese superpower. It goes without saying that Kung Fu against Mike Tyson is like pissing against the wind, but overall I think we have the right idea. I think to fix all the issues we need to offer some protection to our dragon. To keep it lore accurate, I think monks are gonna be a great asset. Okay, we're kinda cooking right there. Where the fuck are the monks? They're still going. Mike Tyson is already here, but monks are still coming up. That is not good. And they're so slow, it's honestly embarrassing. But what's more embarrassing is that Mike Tyson is about to whoop their ass. Despite the monks training specifically for this moment for like 100 years, going bald, mute, celibate, and all of that just to get your ass beat. I mean, what is he even hitting? The age starts to show, that's for sure. Mike Tyson just dodges this, hits like he's seen the fabric of time or something. One broken back, but I don't think it's gonna be an issue for Mike. Low-key, there is a possibility that everything can go right if monks will lock in. I mean, there's 3 of them. At least there was a second ago. I gotta say that this is a very nice hit, but unfortunately looks like Mike Tyson just does not care. We got another Mike Tyson pop out from the back, creeped out from the hell itself, it looks like, because I thought he's dead, but apparently Mike Tyson never dies. And this guy just decided to take a nap in the middle of the fight, but you can't really blame him, he's 100 years old. Looks like Mike Tyson is about to unleash his demons and go for the finisher with his ass. Unbelievable. I don't know, let's just try something like this. Okay, I'm not really sure what's going on right now, but it looks like Chinese decided to lock in and burn everyone. Not even gonna question it, let's get to the next level. This one is called Bomb Rush, and surprising to no one, apparently we're gonna be rushed by the bombers. After so much thinking and intellectual work, I feel like thinking any other thought might be quite dangerous. So let's just spam vampires and let them do their thing. Honestly, couldn't go any other way. This one is called Siege, and you will not believe what's gonna come next. And that's right. Siege. Here we have a couple of shields, long as spears, death contraptions, and not to be negative, but this looks like a problem. Hold on, I think I noticed something. A couple of vampires hiding behind the tombstones. To make things worse, one of them is also morbidly obese. I've never had to deal with a fat vampire, but I think it can only mean 2 things. Either he is way too dangerous of a vamp, short for vampire, or simply he's pre-diabetic. As someone who has an immense experience in warfare and politics, whenever I say catapult and ballista, I know that we have to sacrifice a couple of people on the front lines and send them to die, all for the greater good. After some thinking, this is what I came up with, and I think it should result in a flawless victory. It kinda looks horrible, perhaps the sacrifice was not enough. In such situations, I think the best strat is just to start sucking hard. People on the front lines get discombobulated, it all goes according to the plan, and now vampires are rushing to the backlines to start sucking anyone who stands in their path. God, I would hate to be this guy who gets sucked off. Must be a horrible death. This guy must be suicidal, I don't know what is he doing even. Okay, that actually kind of worked. He just saved his teammate by jumping into this thing. Now all that my vampires have to do is just to finish sucking off this last guy, and we can take this victory with pride. Interesting to note these people also join vampires to suck this general off. Not really sure what's going on, but this must be what pride looks like. Here we have Julius Caesar and what seems to be a donkey, a couple of poison darts, women, and Pharaoh. My strategy for this level is kinda like the previous one. Sacrifice a lot of people and let damage dealers do their thing. Beautiful hit and run by Julius Caesar, very clean if I had to say so. The only thing that I wonder about right now is what is the Minotaur gonna do with this guy? No idea what he's trying to do, but he probably knows better. Minotaur is charging but completely misses the target, and it looks like Julius Caesar chose a strategy of circle jerking, which I gotta say works surprisingly well for him. It worked well until now. No, he's gonna miss. What the fuck are you doing? Honestly, at this point it looks like no one is gonna win and no one is gonna lose. Both of them are brain dead, so I don't think we can do much here. I think we can modify this strat and add musketeer. To be honest, this is your fault. Okay, so I think I need to explain my strategy here. And honestly, it's quite simple. We just send in a massive horde of poor people and simpletons and hope for the best. Throughout history it worked surprisingly well, so why wouldn't it work for me as well? Now that we're done massacring Julius Caesar reinforcement, he's pretty much done for. Headshot to the donkey. Animal cruelty is bad, but don't get it twisted, he was an accomplice. Unfortunately, it looks like this donkey is running on pure hatred against the low class, so he didn't even flinch. Now he did. Now all that's left to do is just to finish the job. It looks like things are getting worse and worse because now we're going against Gandalf. I think the most effective way of dealing with old fucks has got to be a weapon. I think that was a mistake. Yeah, looks like Ankh still got it. Well, there's no way he can counter balloon art. I might as well just give it up, I don't know. I'm not gonna show every attempt, but what happened after is about 30 minutes of me being humiliated by two Ankhs with seemingly no progress whatsoever. Reminds me of my life, so I can't really complain. Eventually though, I decided to use nearly terminal capacity of my brain to spawn ballista and snipe them from afar. I honestly don't know any other way to beat this level, but if you know, tell me in the comments. I'm so excited. We're going against phalanx with extremely long spears. And another Ankh? I could only dream about this. My only idea here is to try and de-escalate the problem before Ankh gets out of control. So let's just put a couple of French warriors, balloon archers, and some random poor people that no one really cares about. So far it goes according to the plan. The only issue is that it takes about 5 business days to reload for these guys. Yeah, and they're cooked. I think the idea was there. I just think we need to unleash some Mexican cobras on our enemies because, to be honest, these long spears are bullshit. Now that snakes are everywhere and Ankh is getting lost in his dementia, we can take advantage of this situation and shoot everything that moves without any potential consequences. On the next level that's titled the tank, we're going against the tank and a couple of guys on that tank who are spreading their shit wide open for no reason. Maybe this is a part of a strategy or maybe it's something else, but it also doesn't even matter. What matters is that now for the first time in this campaign we have enough money to buy ourselves a couple of big guns. As someone who has 2 big guns instead of arms, I don't know where I was going with this one. Anyway, that was easier than stealing money from my grandma. This level is pretty much the same but with more tanks. Well, in response, I think we can buy more cannons. I'm sad to report that buying more guns resulted in a massive tragedy, but in such cases the answer is always the same. We just need to buy even more of them. Perhaps violence cannot be a solution to everything. A good rule of thumb I figured out is whenever you are in doubt, just unleash a bunch of civilians on the battlefield. It might not be the most ethically correct thing to do, but at least I'm not trafficking people to an island. On this level we're going against massive phalanx, Thor and his women, and a bunch of bombers. Without an exaggeration, this is actually horrible, but don't be a pussy. Continuing the trend of using untrained civilians on the battlefield, I think we can do the same thing here but with Zeus. As I already said, let's not be negative. We just need one good shot. Thor is not invincible. Of course he fucking reflected it right. Maybe it's time to wrap it up for Zeus. Okay, so I think I have an idea. First, we'll create a path like this. Looks questionable at best, but trust the process. Now, our enemies have no other choice but to follow this path. But little do they know that at the back, we have an entire fleet of Chinese firework contraptions, breaking the Geneva Conventions that were not even invented. Not even Thor himself can survive the Chinese. But a random guy from an army can dodge 1000 arrows per second like he's in the Matrix. I mean, at this point, what the fuck are we even doing? Okay, thanks. On this level we're going against Da Vinci, which is obviously a reference to one of my recent videos, and if you try hard enough you can even see the guy himself. There's also a Gandalf and a tank, but at this point this is not the real issue. First thing I try to do is to combine... Must be microphone breaking or something. First thing I try to do is to combine all the strategies we used into one ultimate strategy, but it did not go that well. To be honest, none of the strategies went well for about next 20 minutes or so, until I landed on this. I know it does not look like the greatest strategy ever, but you have to trust me on this one. Bombers are bombing us and tanks are driving over pedestrians. Loki reminds me of some Chinese event, but the details are irrelevant. Da Vinci is going crazy against my cannons, but even though his genius is undoubtable, we have the power of poverty on our side, and would you look at that. And now, finally we can place the legacy faction itself. And this is the point of no return, where the fun stops, where people go psychotic, and pain and misery become the only prevalent emotions that you will experience until the end of this campaign. Need I say more that I'm excited? This level might not look difficult, and you would be right because it's not. All you have to do is to counter boners with boxers, bomb a large group of innocent people, and finish the rest. The next couple of levels were also relatively simple, so I'm not gonna explain everything and not gonna waste your time, even though I would absolutely love to because I would get more money for that, but whatever. On this one I pulled out Gandalfs against prehistoric elephants. This one might look like it offers some challenge, but it's really not. I just pumped poison darts and killed all of them. And this is where the bullshit starts to show. I know it might not look like a lot, just 3 crows and a couple of guys from Texas, but actually, there are even more guys from Texas. And to make things worse, they don't even flinch when you explode them, which I gotta admit is actually lore accurate. I was not really sure what to do here, so I tried to bomb them even harder, but unfortunately they just did not care. After some introspection I figured, fuck it, let's unleash innocent and dirt cheap civilians yet again. This strategy really has been a staple of our entire tactical approach for this campaign. By this point we're discovering real war strategies from the first principles, so in a way you could say that this video is educational. Maybe this guy can do wonders. Looks like he was going for a spins, but I wanted to say that he misses, but he actually hit his head with his head. If you know, you know. For some reason he's checking out his ass, but I swear that is not part of my strategy. He must be improvising or something. I feel like at this point it's easier to invade the Pentagon than beat this level. Eventually I came up with this. 9 bombers and lots of archers in the back. You might be wondering, but what's the strategy about it? Hell if I knew. Here we have lots of knights and archers, but after blowing them up and poisoning them, now we don't have them. This level looks deceptively simple, just 2 kings, 2 bald guys, and a freaky twig demon who's waiting to be unleashed. What could go wrong, right? Well, as it turns out, pretty much everything. Obviously, the first thing I tried to do is to send lots of cheap units and a couple of bombers, but that led to a less than satisfying result. At some point I even tried to use Thor. This level was so bad that I was forced to pull out Pharaoh from his ancient 100,000 years old slumber, but even that failed. And the only thing that worked for me is doing some bullshit like this and hoping for a good outcome. It's not exactly a new strategy to me because I apply it on a daily basis, so the outcome was more or less calculated. I gotta give it to them though, these guys hit like 1000 years of oppression combined. If you've educated yourself and watched my previous videos, then you already know that we're going against the well-known hoplite phalanx formation, which worked like a clock for multiple centuries. But unfortunately for them, it's not gonna work against a couple of degenerates on the plutonium battles. I think my troops have gained consciousness or something. This guy's laying on the floor, but he's not even dead. And these guys are walking right into the trap. Now that he's up, he just completely one-shots one of them. The confidence that he slaps him with is quite inspiring. This guy must have read Sun Tzu because there is no other way. But unfortunately, Even the heroes die. Bro, this guy was standing here for like 20 minutes, I swear. Finally, I'm excited to present to you one of the most ball-twisting and soul-crushing types of levels in this campaign. If we take a look at our enemies, there is really nothing that stands out as a serious problem. The real problem, however, is in the fact that we cannot let this pharaoh die. Since, as you can see, we are surrounded, my first idea is to explode. Well, that didn't go well. Let's try to be completely transparent with you, absolutely nothing worked for about an hour. I know it's easy to doubt my intelligence, but to be honest with you, this level is a straight up piece of shit. Multi-generational suffering was continuing until I landed on this combination of units. Not really sure why it even worked, but I can only guess that having 2 Ankhs in one team was just way too much to handle for the enemy. On the next level we have Vikings, a couple more Vikings, and what seems to be Vikings, yeah. Just like the previous level, it did not show any signs of real danger, and just when I assembled what I thought would be an Avengers team, it turned out that these motherfuckers can hop like LeBron in his prime. As a result, about 20 of LeBrons violently violated me right on the battlefield, but I can't exactly say that I'm mad about it. After all, I had an opportunity to taste his greatness. Eventually I noticed that we were also surrounded, so the enemy was straight up blowing out our backs all the time. Sad to say, not even Zeus himself could resist being gangbanged by a bunch of Vikings. I tried all types of strats, Saddam Hussein special, penetration, blowing, but none of them seemed to work. But eventually something clicked. I realized that I possess free will, so I combined all of this into one. I proudly present to you, never seen before, Saddam Hussein special blowing penetration deluxe. More Vikings. Honestly, let's just not overcomplicate this. Let's put some spears and a horse. Spears are actually going crazy, look at them go. They're just discombobulating the Jarls. I almost broke my screen, what the fuck. This horse is just unstoppable, it's a drive-by after drive-by. Must be from Detroit. Looks like Caesar is gonna die. Oh no, he's fine. Never mind, he looks very dead. The horse is possessed by Holy Spirit or something, just doesn't give up. It's a very risky move, charging like a pit bull after a newborn. You can practically feel the aura. But unfortunately, a massive tragedy and a miss. She's going for the dropkick. Honestly, at this point I'm not surprised by anything. There's like zero thoughts in these eyes. But yet somehow she carried this fight. Since the day I was born I always wanted to go to Japan, and today we can finally make my dreams come true. To be honest, that's not what I expected, and it's a little bit underwhelming, but what can you do? Here I don't see any dangerous enemies, so I think it's gonna be easy. Oh, never mind, we're actually fucking surrounded. As you already know, you cannot go wrong with peasants. Maybe Thor. Ideally he would reflect all of the arrows, and I think it looks good. Of course the first thing Thor decides to do is just jump in this hole. There must be some strategy behind it, but I can't quite see it yet. Okay, take number 2. Backlines are looking pretty rough, not gonna lie, but it's fine. These women are distracting samurais as hard as they can. Well, it's kind of part of the plan as well. Unfortunately they killed Zeus, and at this point I don't see a bright future for us. In that case, I think it's time we get back to our roots and use the strategy of using 2 Ankhs. Just look at them go. They still got it. Hold on, I think Thor just killed Gandalf. It's quite unfortunate. Needless to say, this strategy always works. On the next level we're going against the Chinese, but according to the lore, one of the best counters against the Chinese turned out to be tanks, so let's stick to history. So this is a progress update so far. It's been about 15 minutes of this bullshit, and I'm not really sure if it will resolve on its own. I'm afraid at this point we have to transfer my consciousness to the tank, otherwise I'll be stuck in this limbo forever. As you can probably tell or not, this level is about to hit like crack in 1980s. Just look at the amount of guns on this level. It's like I'm going to school all over again. As you might have figured out based on everything we've been through, the best defense against guns are lots of innocent civilians. That's about where my plan ends, and we have to improvise. Well, so far it does not look horrible. Not really sure what I'd expected. Okay, I think we need a different plan. I think horse is gonna carry it. Just straight up wasted my $1,000. Okay, take number 2. Usually everything goes right on take 2. I mean, you can't be serious. Okay, well, whatever they say, third time is a charm. I don't know, let's just call Thor or something. Yep. Ang still got it, and we've met again, Da Vinci and lots of balloon archers. But as someone who also used balloon archers against Gandalf previously, I know that we will turn this fight into a hydrogen bomb versus Coffin Baby. Finally, I can afford to play Assassin's Creed Black Flag on my PC without any issues. I don't think it's gonna be a surprise to anyone, but on this map we're going against lots of pirates. To be honest, I like pigeons, so I kinda feel bad about killing him. It might seem like there's a lot going on, but at this point you know the drill. 2 Angs are unstoppable. On this map we're going against... Why am I even explaining it? Something tells me that Thor and Gandalf will not work on this one. There are only so many cannons an Ang can handle. In that case, my second best strategy is to blow up everything, including myself. Now, it might seem like a massive tragedy, but as you can see, the idea is clearly here. Obviously, we need to put more bombers, but the real damage will be these guys with long spears. Balls flying straight to my face. It's okay, kinda used to it. Bombs are going off in a perfect succession. One shot at this woman, obviously, unfortunately, but it had to be done. And now... easy, which I can't say the same about this level. Without an exaggeration, as you can see, I was playing this level for about... Yep. 1 hour. If there's anything in this world that I hate more than waking up, that is gotta be this level. On the first look it doesn't even seem that difficult. Just a couple of vampires, a couple of whatever that is, and a pair of guys with ball cuts. How difficult can it really be, right? Well... about 1 hour. At first I tried the most obvious and logical options. To blow up vampires, to not let them close. And obviously I tried my favorite Angs. But if vampires wouldn't suck them dry, then ball cut individuals would make sure to penetrate them with 1000 swords per second. Not even a horde of innocent civilians made this thing any easier. After 30 tragic minutes, I decided to pivot my strategy into something more intelligent. But I think at this point we're walking a very thin line between intelligence and psychosis. I tried to perfect positioning of my bombers, thinking that if I put them on a certain right spot, I would maximize the damage of the explosions. I tried to literally penetrate vampires with my pikes in the deployment stage, hoping that I would instantly kill them after the start. And what do you know? Vampires just kept sucking me dry. And to be fair, they kept sucking for like 30 minutes more, and there is only so much sucking one can take. So when they sucked the entire life force out of me, out of desperation I tried to use the all-time classic strategy of using 2 Angs, and with a little bit of hope and patience, we actually won. It only took us an hour. The next level is surprisingly much easier than the previous one. All it took is a couple of bombers, Thor, and 1 attempt. This one is definitely walking a thin line between a level that's kinda quirky and the one that demotivates you from breathing ever again. So here we have to protect Mike Tyson from the police and the working class. And it would actually be easy if the police would not do this bullshit move that one-shots Mike Tyson no matter where he is. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling slight notes of racism. But with that being said, for the entire campaign I was wondering, what the fuck is this unit for? And I finally found an answer. For not doing anything, so I surround Mike with innocent civilians that would act as a meat shield, and meanwhile they're tolerating this police brutality, my inner circle of poisoners takes advantage of this destruction and blows everyone from a safe distance. Need I say more? By this point my strategies had reached unimaginable levels of creativity and efficiency. Maybe one day I'll write a book, but for now, let's focus on the last level. On the last level we're going against cacti, police, and a couple of donkeys. You might think that it looks very simple. Well, ain't shit difficult for America.